Yeah, I mean, obviously, really proud of the team tonight. I think that, them coming back and, putting together a full meet really showed their resilience and their determination and their ability to, learn from some of the lessons that we learned last week and to move on and move forward and take those lessons that we need to continue to finish out the season the way that we envisioned. I thought vault actually was an excellent rotation for us tonight. There was some big vaults, and I think their landings are really starting to pay attention to where they're at and not just making the vaults. They're actually starting to dial in a little bit more. And then on bars, I thought they did a really nice job continuing to work on hitting those handstands and our landings. Beam, I was obviously, as the beam coach, very proud of them. Obviously, we shuffled up the lineup quite a bit tonight, and Emily was very excited to be lead off again. And I think that really just, it does. It helps set the tone for that event. The athletes that follow her believe in her and are confident in her. And, to see Avery back out there, this was her first week practicing full routines. So this would have been her fourth day of full routines. And that just speaks to the, quality of athlete she is and her character to be able to have that kind of mindset to go up there. Probably did 12 routines total before today, and to just, score a 9.9, her first routine back with new skills. I mean, that combination she did, that's not what she was doing before. And so that was new as well, and just excited to have her back in the lineup. And we really just kept our focus. That was one of our goals, was to, keep our focus, to have disciplined minds tonight is what we talked about from the first routine to the last routine, and we really did that. We didn't, something kind of had happened in the lineup. They did a really good job of trusting their gymnastics. The next person went up and not, changing their mindset and having any doubt.
Speaking to the beam, last week you talked about, you had faith in your team.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a rarity. What went into this week? I know you said you shuffled it around, but was there anything in particular that allowed you to kind of help them refocus into that, or just kind of what happened?
I think changing the lineup, honestly, probably helped. Just putting Emily back there and having Avery back in the lineup. I think it just kind of gave a different feel to the lineup than what we've been doing. Monday we did a few more numbers than we've normally done and put a little pressure on Cammie, so she had to hit on Tuesday by herself. And yesterday we actually did an inter squad, which we don't normally do pre-meet, but we felt like maybe just holding them a little more accountable at practice instead of a pre-meet where it's pretty loose and pretty open, not as much accountability in the routines that they're doing. So I think that also helped prepare them for today.
I'll ask the question about scoring tonight.
Sammy.
Did you get an explanation as to what was the deductions for Cammie's start value on her beam routine?
Yeah, they didn't give her the connection on her leap, and so if your hips actually go outside of alignment of the beam, then they can call it a break of connection, so then she's missing that special requirement. We did talk to the meet ref about it, and at that point she would have got the same score as Liz if it did come back up, so we didn't do the actual inquiry.
198 for the first time this season. Just how does it make you feel to see your team post that score?
I mean, I am really proud of them. I mean, they've been working so hard, like, Grace was saying, and for them to, put it all together in a meet is just, I think, honestly, the start of what this team is capable of. And, it takes 4 events. You can't be great on 3 events and expect a 198, so.
What was the message to your team after you saw Cammie with that score bringing the value down, because there's a little PTSD there,
Yeah.
Pressure was on McKenna to come out, and then she hit a 9.9.
Yeah, I didn't actually address the team at that point because we were still considering doing an inquiry if we needed to, but it was a really nice routine, and for her to get back up there and do that, she had a rough meet last weekend, and she's only a sophomore, and she didn't compete beam all last year, so this is still kind of a new space for her, and I thought she did a really nice job.
Ella mentioned that, she felt the performance anxiety that she's been having creep up a bit. Walk me through what you did with her to kind of just settle her down. I know she mentioned something about a quiz, but walk me through that process and how proud you are of her.
Yeah, I think it seemed like it kind of spiked a little bit in the warm-up today, not the 4-minute touch, but the open warm-up. She was having a little bit of trouble with her last pass, and I think she started doubting herself. And, at that point, I just reminded her that two last passes that weren't perfect out of the thousands that you've done. Just gave her a little reminder of that. And Elizabeth Gantner's been a huge help to her as well. And, we just try to distract her. I don't know, the quiz she did on her shoulder, I can't even pronounce the words. And so we have some good laughs and, just try to keep her mind light. But it's important to remind her that even when she feels like that, she's proven now that she can still go and do a great performance. And I think that's important for her to remember.
What does it say about the expectations of this team when Grace gets 3 9.975s and you still have a crowd that's booing because they can see that, they expected 10s? I mean, what does that say about those expectations?
Yeah, I think that Grace has, earned that. I think she's earned that expectation of being a 9.95, 9.975, and a 10 on multiple events. Our fans are passionate fans, and we love them for it.
I was really impressed with Jaylene after her beams. She made it hurt her shoulder or something, but she came out and I think had her best performance on the floor this year.
Yeah, I think her shoulder was a little tight, but obviously she was able to push through and do her floor routine, and she's really been working hard at just enjoying doing her routine. It's her senior year, and it can be tough when that's what you've done your whole life, and you can kind of see the end is creeping in, that your brain can start wandering to what it's going to feel like. So she's really been working on just enjoying the moment, enjoying the last opportunity she has to be in the Huntsman and competing with her team and with all these amazing fans here. And I think that this was a step in the right direction for her tonight.
Coach, you talked about it in the beginning, but can you talk a little bit more about Avery's progress? And she made a beaten routine tonight, first time since January 17th, and adding new stuff. Do you see her adding more events as we go towards the Nationals? And what does that look like to you?
Yeah, absolutely. Her training's coming along really well. We keep just, monitoring it day by day, and as we keep adding a little bit more, we just keep making sure that we're not, having to take steps back because she's more sore. Actually, as she adds more, she keeps saying, "I feel better and better." So I definitely wouldn't count her out for adding in more routines moving forward.
I know you guys have bigger goals and bigger fish to fry as you guys continue on the season, but Big 12 regular season champions.
Yeah.
Grace mentioned how it feels nice to have it outright. I just want to hear your thoughts on, a new piece of hardware coming to the Dumpke.
Yeah, I think it's really important to celebrate it. They worked really hard for that. Conference champions, that's huge. First program at Utah to win the Big 12 championship title, and we got to celebrate all our wins. This was a great win for us tonight.
You guys get the 198 tonight. I know last week was a lot, but how does it feel to finally get that 198?
It feels really good to get the 198. I feel like we put in a lot of hard work, and to see it finally start coming together. I feel like it's been a long time coming. We've had the pieces we need, and we just fall short. So to finally have it happen, it's unreal. It's a good feeling.
Just kind of following up on that, obviously last week's beam performance was rough. What was kind of the mindset going in today? You get a season high on beam. Just kind of, how did that all work today?
I just wanted to approach beam this week differently from last week. I wanted to approach it with confidence and just no doubt in myself and have fun up there. I feel like when I take it too serious, that's when the little unusual mistakes happen. And so I had fun. I was counting on the beam and just did my thing.
Ella, I don't want to freak you out, but we do pay attention during warm-ups. And before floor, you were kind of not looking the greatest from our perspective, and then you went out and had a great routine. Can you talk us through kind of what happened?
Yeah, so obviously I've had some performance anxiety this season, and it hasn't come out the past couple meets, but it started to come out during warm-up. So I kind of just had to stop what I was doing and just kind of ground myself, and if that means less warm-up, that means less warm-up, so I just go and sit down, and then Carly makes an anatomy test for me to do while I wait to go, and it calms my mind, so, and obviously works, so yeah.
For Grace, past two meets, obviously you had the 10 last week, you have 2 9.975s, or 3 9.975s, correction. What has been clicking for you just the past two meets, and do you feel like you're peaking at any point?
I feel like what's really been working for me is just trusting my training and going out there with confidence. It's still something I'm working on, and I feel like throughout season it's gotten better, but it's still something I'm tuning in on and just really focusing on and going out there and being confident in myself.
Ashley, you seem so confident this year. I know we've talked about this before, but what's allowed you to kind of be into that spot and just kind of really perform at your highest level lately?
Thanks. I think I've just kind of spent a lot of time working on like consistency and building that confidence in the gym. Just kind of putting in like my all every single day and going into each turn with intention and just kind of chipping away at every correction that I can make so that I can feel confident when I go out there.
For all three of you, you guys collectively as a team have talked about peaking at the right time. Obviously, the 198 tonight. Where do you guys feel like you're at as a team, heading into some of the most pivotal months of your season, and what else do you think you guys can grow at?
I mean, I feel like we're on the up, we're on the climb. We obviously had a rough patch last week, but rather get it done then than in a further meet. But yeah, I feel like we just keep getting closer as a team and finding more out about ourselves and how it makes us more successful. So
Yeah, like you said, we're just kind of going up on the climb and continuing to build that confidence and consistency every week. So I think we're in a good place right now, and we have a bye week next weekend, so just kind of getting the time off to recover and get everything that we need done so that we can feel good when we come back and finish the season strong.
They covered it.
I know you guys try not to pay attention to the scores during the meet, especially the other team's score, but this meet was very close, especially at the end. Does that make it fun? Does that make it fun that you guys had a competitive meet that you had to come through at the end to win?
I think it was fun. I mean, I'm a score watcher. I like knowing where I'm at. And so it was nice to see some good competition out there today. And just going into the last event, I was like, we're a really good floor team. We have no reason to doubt our abilities and what we can do. So it was also good to work more under pressure with a team that was closer and scored us. So we can be ready for like nationals, regionals, the bigger meets.
You guys technically win the Big 12 regular season. Does that mean much to you? I know regionals and nationals are all more important, but does that have any bearing on how you guys feel this year?
I think it's really cool to win the first Big 12 championship title in our first year as part of the Big 12. Just after the last 3 years of me being here, we've had to share the Pac-12 title, so to finally have it on our own feels really good.